In the second half of 6.2, I'm going to be dividing radical expressions. So similar to multiplication, if I have two expressions that are being taken to the same nth root and I'm dividing them, I could put that fraction all over one big radical sign and divide the fraction inside the radical to simplify it. So let's look at two examples to see what we're talking about here. First, I'm going to be taking the square root of 18x to the 5th power divided by the square root of 2x to the 3rd power. Since these are both being taken to the square root, I can combine everything under one big radical sign. From here, I'm going to divide the coefficients and the x's separately. So 18 over 2 will give me 9, x to the 5th over x to the 3rd. Now I'm going to be subtracting the exponents when I'm dividing. I'm going to be left with x squared. So under the radical, I have the square root of 9x squared. My last step here, I want to think, what's the square root of 9? The square root of 9 will be 3, and the square root of x squared will be x. So my final answer is 3x. In this next example, we're going to take the cube root of 162y to the 5th power all over the cube root of 3y to the 2nd power. Same thing here, since these are both being taken to the cube root, I can put it all under one big radical sign. Now I'm going to divide everything separately. 162 over 3 will give me 54. Y to the 5th over y to the 2nd will leave me with y to the 3rd. So now I have the cube root of 54y to the 3rd power. From here, I know that y to the 3rd is going to come out nicely, but I need to see what perfect square or perfect cube goes into 54. What we learned yesterday, I can do that by doing prime factorization. So 54, I'm going to split up into 9 and 6. So I can rewrite 54 as 2 times 3 cubed, which will be helpful now when I simplify. So now I can rewrite my radical as the cube root of 3 cubed times 2 times y to the 3rd. Finally, anything that's being taken to the 3rd power can come out of the radical. So 3 to the 3rd power and y to the cubed and y to the 3rd power will come out of the radical. So my final answer will be 3y times the cube root of 2. The last thing we're going to talk about in this video is rationalizing a denominator. So this is another way to simplify a radical expression, and it's how we deal with if our final answer has a radical in the denominator, because technically that wouldn't be considered simplified. So for example, if I had something like 1 over the square root of 2, I need to get the radical out of the denominator, so an easy way I can fix this is by multiplying the top and bottom by the denominator. And the numerator, 1 times square root of 2 will leave me with square root of 2, but now, if I multiply a radical by itself, the radical just kind of goes away. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 will leave me with 2, and I'd be done.